welcome to my backyard garden. It's June 10th and it's been a couple of weeks since my last update. I want to take you through the garden, show you what's been happening. So we'll start as we always do with the green beans, and plenty of flowers on the beans. These are Shade 2 variety, and they're a wax bean, and they are 55 to 60 days to maturity at harvest, and now a couple of weeks away from harvesting. The peas have been doing really well. I picked these pretty much clean yesterday except for the smaller ones. Every one of those are ready to pick today. There's a lot of those on there. I've picked 2.5 pounds of peas so far from these two beds. So I want to show you what I look for when I decide when to pick these peas. My hand is about 4 inches wide, and the pea itself is about 3 inches, and the peas inside the pod are starting to form. Now if you look at this one's been on a little bit longer than I like. These peas right here, they're a little flat, are really nice and sweet. These are sugar peas, and so I'll be going through and picking these again, and I will probably get another pound off of this just in today. And these, I'll show you one. These you don't pick, these you pick. Let's see, there's one down in here. See this little one? That one right there, I'm not going to pick, but that'll be ready in another day. Okay, while we're on the peas, I tried something differently this year. I planted 2 rows of peas on each side of my trellis. Normally I've only planted 1, but I got greedy. I wanted to see if I could get twice as much production out of this bed. And what happened was, you can see they're falling over. It was just too many plants, and they just can't hold on to each other and support themselves, so they fall over, and it's a mess and hard to work in because it's really thick and I can't see everything inside the vines. So my suggestion is plant 1 row of peas on each side, and I put the seeds 1.5 inches apart. What happens is, if you don't, I had to put supports up right here, some wire metal supports, because these peas were falling over and they were getting in the way of my lettuce and the radishes over there. They were shading them out, and then they get leggy and not the way I want my lettuce to grow. And my beets are looking a little scrawny. It's been really cloudy and rainy here. It's been a really wet spring, so I'm going to get a few beets out of this, and I'm not too worried about that, because once my green beans are done, I'm going to clear the bed out and plant a whole bed of beets so I can can for the winter. This is my second bed of peas. You can see they're ready to pick too. I've got plenty on there. And down here I've interplanted radishes and lettuce. Now this lettuce is 2 weeks. I planted it 2 weeks ago, and the radishes the same. What I'm doing is I've got another bed that I've interplanted as well with lettuce and radishes, and so every month or so I will have alternating beds of lettuce that I can harvest along with those radishes. The tomatoes are doing nicely. Almost all of these are beefsteak type of tomatoes. The 2 on the end here, the one near one are pear tomatoes, and they might also be called Chinese tomatoes, and the one on the other side is my cherry tomato. And you'll notice that these 2 are taller than the other ones, and these 2 typically will grow faster than a beefsteak type of tomato. And this is why they call them pear tomatoes. They have that distinctive pear shape. These are really good producers, and they will get about 1.5 inches long, and they'll get a distinctive yellow color, and they're really, I hear, they're really sweet and tasty. Something else I want to show you is how I support my tomatoes. You can use cages, stakes. You can put stakes at each end of your bed and tie strings across sideways and weave your tomato plants in and out as they grow. I like to use twine that hangs down from my cross support, and as you can see, the twine wraps around the stalk, but what I'm actually doing is, as the plant grows, I wrap it around the twine. And this is really easy to do, it requires little time at all to keep your tomatoes supported. These are my two 8-foot beds, and they're interplanted with leaf lettuce and peppers. Now I just got done with my third cutting of this lettuce, and I topped my peppers yesterday, and I have separate videos on each of those. If you want to see why I topped my peppers and cut them down, be sure to look at that video. This is the other bed I have interplanted with radishes, lettuce, and I have tomatoes in this bed. It's my 10-foot bed. And these are French breakfast type of radishes, and it looks like I'll be picking these out today. The lettuce here was planted a couple weeks or so ago along with the lettuce in that other bed, so I will have a good harvest from them. This lettuce over here I planted in late April. What happened with that is I planted it, it started to come up. I didn't get a chance to thin it before I took off on vacation. I came back and it was like 8 inches tall. I was able to get good lettuce out of it, but this right now is going to come out of the ground. I just want to show you. It just doesn't look very good. I've got 3 cuts out of some of this stuff, but when it gets leggy like this, it falls over, it gets down on the ground, and it's just not worth keeping. Here's my long neck pumpkins. I put these out in this small bed every year. I've got 3 plants. I was late getting these transplanted, so they set in the seed starter mix for about a month or so. So they didn't have much nutrients in the soil in the mix, so they're just not very big right now, but that'll change. They'll be okay. And these long neck pumpkins will grow to be about 12 to 15 pounds and anywhere from 25 to 36 inches long. Some of the other transplants I put out yesterday were cucumbers and butternut squash, along with cantaloupe. In the past, I have tried to grow cantaloupe and the squash and cucumbers vertically, and I'm not going to do that this year. What I'm going to do, so I'm going to let these grow out over the sides of these beds, just along the mulch between the trees and the grass. And finally, my garlic. The garlic has been in the ground since, I think, November, and up since I think the middle of January. And you'll notice that the stalks are starting to turn a little brown, and they're starting to fall over, and that means it's about ready to pick. So I'm going to leave these in the ground for about another week, and then I'm going to take them out, and then I'll have another little bed that I can put some stuff in. Alright, another update done. I'll be doing these every couple of weeks just to give you an idea how things are coming along, and with some specialty stuff in between. Hope that was helpful. If you like the video, please give it a like, and as always, please subscribe to my channel if these videos are helpful. I'll be back soon with more stuff. Bye-bye.